Yo, what is going on everyone? It is Reeves, and welcome back to another video. Today, a little bit different of a video. Recently on my live stream, I completed the all killer perk streak. If you don't know what that is, a pretty probably like the biggest content creator for Dead by Daylight, Otstarva, made or started to do a challenge where he has to win a game on every single killer in a row, and you have to use every single killer perk available in the game, and you cannot repeat them. And I recently attempted it, and I completed it. I'm gonna go over I guess just some of the stats that I had, and kind of the builds, I guess, my builds, and kind of my, I guess, strategy going into the game a little bit. So I guess I'll just start off with just like the stats, or I guess I should go over the rules. So the rules for the challenge was to get 4 kills or 3. Getting 4 or 3 kills keeps a streak. Anything else is a reset. All perks must be used by the end, and absolutely no repeats can happen. Any order of killer is accepted. No add-ons or game-altering offerings. So no add-ons, that's a big one. And you can't bring yourself to a really overpowered killer map, essentially. I just use blood point offerings the whole time. That's not game-altering. It's blood point altering, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, I'll just go over my stats. I 4K'd 25 times, and I 3K'd twice. The only killers I did not 4K on was Trapper and the Executioner, so Pyramid Head. Thankfully, honestly, like the Trapper one I could have reset on, and the Executioner one I could have reset on, but the survivors made a really terrible mistake, and I was able to bring it back and get a 3K. So I'll have to thank the survivors for that one. But yeah, I guess I'll just go over some of the builds and kind of how I was gonna go into it. I'll go in order of which killers I played, because the way I wanted to do it, I wanted to do like the weaker killers or killers that I'm uncomfortable playing first with the weaker perks, and then as I go up to the higher tier killers, I wanted to have them to have the higher tier perks. So basically it's harder, the streak is harder at the start, but it continuously gets like easier and easier. That's kind of my thought process behind it. So my first killer this challenge was Freddy, because I think he is so painful to play for me. I don't know, there's just something about him is just so boring. I hate this killer so much. He's so boring, and I just used a lot of like dead weight perks on him. My best perk in this build was probably Gift of Pain and Coup de Grace. Merciless Storm, the game I used it did not go off at all. I attempted this thing I think 3 other times, and I ran Merciless Storm on Freddy, and it just didn't work at all. Like, this perk is just terrible. Like, it is so bad to use, in my opinion. This perk is terrible. Claustrophobia is another terrible perk in my opinion. It rarely ever gets use. Anytime I've ever used this perk, it has just done absolutely nothing. Yeah, this perk is just depressing. This perk, Gift of Pain, is like, it feels useless almost. I don't know. It feels pretty bad in my opinion. The repair speed reduction feels pretty lackluster, and then it's like, why would I need to get hemorrhage or mangled when I can just use Sloppy Butcher? But like I said, like, you have to use all the perks, so I was just kind of stuck with it, and I wanted to use like all the weak perks early. And then Coup de Grace actually, I think, won me the game, unironically. It got me a lot of downs, got me a lot of hits, important hits too. So yeah, Coup de Grace was definitely the MVP in this match. My next killer that I played was the Onryo, and that is because I think Onryo is also extremely weak. But I had some decent perks. The game was a bit of a flop. The survivors made some really terrible mistakes, and I it's so weird, going from just playing super casually and just trying to get a 4K, but not like sweating my ass off about it, to being like I have to punish everything, and I cannot let them get anything. Like I can't let them get anything. I had to play like super sweaty. I haven't played like that in the way I did playing this streak in forever. Probably since like 2017, back when I really went hardcore for kills and stuff like that in this game. But yeah, I the survivors made a couple mistakes and I punished it super hard, because this killer is extremely weak, and if you give survivors an inch with this killer, they're gonna take a mile. It is ridiculous. But basically what I wanted to do in this game, it was, I wanted to get Make Your Choice off, and I just wanted to have like kind of a decent chase perk. It's not very good, but it definitely didn't help that match, because that match was a bit of a flop, like I said. And then Dying Light was just kind of there because I needed like a bad perk to be gone, and Dying Light, in my opinion, is just terrible. Like the fact that the Obsession gains all that bonus movement or action speed is just ridiculous. Yeah, this perk is just bad, but the survivors made bad mistakes. I slowed and I camped everyone. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's like late at night for me. But yeah, no, I did not hold back when playing the Onryo. I got one good Make Your Choice hit off and a hook, and then I had a bunch of survivors hovering the hook, and I camped it, and they tried to go for a save, and they all just got downed, and I did not let them get anything out of it, and I made sure they didn't. I felt a little bad, but like I said, I want to do this streak, so I went super hard on it. The next killer that I played after that was Trapper. Trapper's game was definitely painful. I think Freddy, Trapper, and Pyramid Head were probably my most painful games out of all my things. Out of all the killers I had, the Freddy one, it was just like, I was against a really good squad. Like they were definitely like a 4-man, which is fine, and they were like playing like pretty good. I think I got carried by the map a bit. I was on Dead Dog on that map, but yeah, I just pulled it out at the end, I guess. But this one was I felt like I was doing so well, but you really do realize like how much Trapper relies on gen slowdown, because like I was getting pretty decent chases. Like I was like downing people pretty consistently, but I just got owned a bunch. I had a bunch of couple trap downs, and then it just got to endgame, and I got a person on a hook, and I camped it, hoping they would come back, and God bless, some guy came to the hook, and I got a grab on them, and then the other two were injured, and I forced one out, and for whatever reason, one of them stayed in the map, and I was able to get the 3K just off it. It was just painful. I didn't really have much of a strategy going into it. I placed a couple traps that actually did help me out a lot, and God bless. Pretty unorthodox places, I guess. Just trapping jungle gyms, couple traps here and there. That this game was just kind of just W key M1 and hope my trap does something. And it did end up working out, but I had to play pretty lame, I guess. And then the next killer I played was Clown, and this is the build I used. Ancient Tactics, I just wanted to off a killer, because this perk makes me angry whenever I see that many light ups on my screen when playing, or like playing killer. It's just, is annoying. Oppression, in my opinion, is terrible. And then no edit, I just needed something for Clown, because Clown is obviously a fairly weak killer. But thankfully in my game, it was, I hooked a guy and I went after another survivor and they ran directly at the hook and I downed them. And then I saw the other two survivors, so they were coming for the save, but the person who was being chased got downed at the hook, so I camped it. And it ended up just working out, and I just camped and slugged everyone. And it was a bit of a clown fiesta, I get it? Okay, bad joke. But yeah, no, this game was a bit of a slog. There was no strategy really going into it. It was kind of just play clown and pray. But yeah, I got no value out of any of my perks. I could have been perkless and had the same result. Yeah, thankfully the survivor that was being chased just threw. God bless. The next killer I played was Ghostface. Ghostface without add-ons, in my opinion, is really bad. He's kind of a reliant. He's pretty reliant on add-ons, in my opinion. But yeah, I used a pretty decent build. I used Throwing Tremors, Pop, and Nurse's Calling. I actually got a lot of value out of all these perks. These were all really solid perks, and I'm really glad I used this build on Ghostface. I got Mother's Dwelling on that map, and I remember I had like a really good early game, and then in the mid game, I had I think 2 or 3 dead hards on my swings, and then I got auto-aimed into a pallet, and I lost 3 gens, I think, 2 or 3 gens, and I was tilted and frustrated, but thankfully I just kind of calmed myself down. I got some really good hits. I was definitely still frustrated after it, but luckily the survivors made some mistakes, and I was able to get the dub. And then the next killer after that, I played Myers, and this build is pretty fun. Basically, what my plan was to have Corrupt Intervention help my early game, because Myers has the weakest early game, and then I have Discordance, so I can sneak up on the two survivors that are working on a generators if they do that, which did happen. It was Rotten Fields. Thankfully, Jill was on my side that game, and she just let me stalk her for some reason, and I just snowballed out of control from there. I did this streak before with pretty much this exact build. I think I had something else other than Blood Warden last time, but I had Dark Devotion. Dark Devotion in my previous one was really sick. So basically, I would get 2-3 off on someone, and then I would, I got like a Discordance proc across the map, and I was able to get a Dark Devotion. I got like 2 Dark Devotion downs because of it in 2-3, which was pretty sick. But yeah, my plan was to sneak up, get early stock with Discordance Corrupt, get some Dark Devotion downs, and then if it got to it, I could use Blood Warden to secure the end or whatever. But yeah, that was pretty much the Myers one. Myers was pretty good though. I think Myers was probably one of the more fun ones when the strategy actually kind of worked out with Dark Devotion and Discordance. Next up, I played Pig. This build, I just wanted to do like an endgame build with Remember Me, Nemesis, and Rancor. Strider was just there in case I was crouching around, and I didn't pick up the survivor or something like that, and it would make them louder. This game was pretty good though. I got a bunch of cocky survivors, and they just ended up getting owned. I think, from my understanding, I played this on 5.7.1 and Rancor was bugged and it wasn't even letting you moor people, so this was basically a dead perk. But yeah, I didn't even get to really use any of my perks that match, other than Nemesis, which still worked. I was actually able to catch 2 people, I think, from the obliviousness from it. So that was it was pretty good. It was a pretty decent game. Nothing to complain about. Next was Legion, and this game was just another case of really overconfident survivors who played really cocky, and they got punished really hard because I had Blood Echo. They did not know I had Blood Echo, and they all had Dead Hard, I think. I think 2 or 3 of them had Dead Hard, and they got owned because of it. They got over cocky, or like they got really cocky because they had Dead Hard, and they got Blood Echoed procced, and they pretty much just lost the game from there. Not too much on Legions. His was a bit of a stomp. Next up was Pinhead. Pinhead's match was pretty easy. Hoarder's obviously really good on Pinhead. You know, you can get your box or whatever. Third Seal I just used to mess with survivors. I don't know. I think the group I was against was definitely a bunch of solo queue gamers. I think Third Seal helped me out a bit. I think some person went to struggle because they didn't know where they were, or they didn't pay attention after the guy got hooked. And then I just had Unrelenting, and it actually got me 2 or 3 downs because they did not expect me to have it. And Unrelenting is like a good funny perk for that. So this game, my strategy was just to hope Hoarder did something for me, and it did. Or did it? I think it got me 1 chain hunt, but I got a bunch of downs pretty early. This game was pretty casual, nothing too crazy. I was just consistently getting downs, nothing. They were getting a couple gens. I wasn't really panicking or anything in that game. That game was pretty chill. But yeah, that was Pinhead, and then next after that was Doctor, and this one you might recognize as the demon build of 2017, 2018, the 3-gen Doctor build. Basically, pretty much all my perks were useless other than distressing, like letting me know where survivors were for my static blast. These other perks pretty much did nothing. Maybe Claustrophobia I got a little bit of value out of. They were healing in my tear radius, so I guess I could give that a little bit of credit. I got a couple overcharge procs, probably like 2 or 3, which I guess is like decent, I guess. And then Unnerving, obviously just overcharge proc. Hard to hit that skill check. But yeah, this build wasn't too crazy. The game wasn't too amazing either. Got a couple cocky survivors, just ended up playing really badly. They didn't expect me to be a good player, I guess, because maybe because I ran out to them with default dock, with overcharge and unnerving presence. So yeah, that game wasn't too bad. After that was Plague. Plague's game was definitely a wash. We played the game. I didn't really get value out of any of my perks. Basically, this game, I found it started off pretty good for the survivors. I thought it was actually going to be a really hard match, but everything, you know, everything turns when the survivors make a mistake and decide to DC on everyone, and that's what happened in that game. I downed this Claire. We put her on a hook, chased another survivor, put them on a hook, and then the Claire cleansed right beside me, and she tried to go through a pallet, and I body blocked her, vomited on her, and killed her, and she DC'd, and that was it. That was pretty much the game from there. That was at 4 gens. 4 or 5 gens? I think it was 4 gens. I think they got 1 gen done. But yeah, that was that one. That game wasn't too interesting. Yeah, that game was a bit of a wash, but you know, if I wasn't counting DCs as kills, then I would still be doing this challenge, because Jesus Christ, people rage quit all the time now. Trickster's game was pretty fun. I actually got a lot of value out of Huntress's Lullaby. I got a lot of really fast downs really early on, and then I got a little bit of crowd control value, a little bit of blood favor value. I think pretty much this whole build got a little bit of value. Definitely Lullaby though. I don't think Lullaby got cleansed, and they were blowing up gens left, right, and center. They were missing healing skill checks. They were missing everything. This game was pretty good. Strategy here was just to kind of just, you know, play Trickster and just be really oppressive and chase, and camp a little bit with main event or, around 99, and that's kind of what happened. the survivors played pretty altruistically, and they definitely got punished for it. There was definitely a couple times where I got fucking bullshitted, and I was pretty pissed off. But yeah, nothing too much with Trickster. And after Trickster, I played Nemesis. This build, I played RPD, so there wasn't really too much strategy to that map. It was really just my zombies carried me, and they couldn't dodge my whip. So that game, I'm also very positive that one of the players I was against was like brand new to the game, because he was lost, like super lost. Like he couldn't walk in a straight line without like running into anything, and he wasn't even looking behind him. So this game was a bit of a wash. Kind of sad I used these. I use Fearmonger and No Way Out on Nemesis, but I didn't really get to use them a whole lot. I don't even think anyone in that game had an exhaustion perk, not that I can recall. But yeah, I didn't really get a whole lot of value. I actually did get Magra value. I will say that there was some guy who did not know I had it, and the second they realized I had it, they did not attempt to body block the hook at all ever. So yeah, nothing too much with Nemesis though. His game wasn't too special. It was more like boring. But Pyramid Heads, Jesus. Oh my god. This game was pain. This game is just like I chase one person, like a gen pops, I get a hook, and then I don't find anyone, no one's around me, and then the guy who wants to be chased is just like kind of around the he wants to obviously bring me away from the hook, and he's kind of just like running back and forth between like a really strong loop on the hook, and it's like, man, like I don't really know, you're expecting me to chase you there or what? But yeah, no, I didn't really chase them. Also, during the 5.7.1 patch, Bitter Murmur did not work at all, so Bitter Murmur was useless, but I needed to use it again. So yeah, got a little bit of... I definitely got value out of Deadlock and Eye's though. Pretty fun perks on Pyramid Head. But this game was definitely pain. This was one of the games... This is the only other game that I didn't 4K on. I 3K'd, but thankfully, I was able to tunnel one of the survivors out, find another one in endgame, and then the survivor that was playing really cocky ran to try and get the save, and I downed him, and as I downed him, the fourth survivor left, and I caged that guy, and he died instantly, and I was able to get the 3K off it. So I was really thankful. That was literally the closest one. I thought I was going to lose and reset. But yeah, really hard game. He was definitely the hardest game. Him and Trapper, by far, like easily the hardest. But after that was Twins. This was on Badhem. This build, God, it was a little dirty. Played Badhem preschool and just slugged all the survivors. That was my plan from the start, with Force Penance and Deerstalker and Knockout, and that is exactly what happened. I thought I was gonna lose because they were on a really strong map. They were really spread out. They looked coordinated, but they also looked really altruistic, and I was able to punish that. Getting a lot of value out of a couple of Force Penance procs, and then Deerstalker just helped me know where everyone was. So if I knew if I knew where people got picked up, I would be able to just send Vector out and down the server that got picked up, and then do whatever I wanted. And that's kind of what happened. So yeah, nothing too much to the Twins game though. It wasn't too interesting. It just kind of came down to me camping a guy on hook and a guy on the ground, and then it translated into another guy on the ground, into the last guy, into me camping the hook with Victor, and then the last guy trying to save, and it didn't work out for him. So yeah, after Twins was Deathslinger, and this was probably the easiest game. They got a gen done pretty fast. It was a really good map for them, but they gave up pretty much immediately. They made a really terrible mistake at the very start. I got a Starstruck proc on a survivor trying to sabo a hook, and I put the guy on the hook, and I put the other guy in the basement, and I was able to camp basement and the guy on hook, and the game was over at that point. They had 3 people spawn on 1 gen, and yeah, no, it was just a wash. That game was close. It was kind of how I expected it. I tried to run Starstruck and Agi so I could see if anyone was like maybe like hiding around, and I used Hangmans to see if anyone was and I guess spies to see if anyone was like hiding around me. After I picked up, like if they went to like the corner of the map or just anywhere, and I would hopefully get a spies from the Shadows proc or Hangman's proc, if they were near a hook or you know, just around a crow, I guess. But yeah, really strong build. This is probably like my favorite one I used. There was a couple I used that were pretty fun, but this was definitely like the strongest build I used. And yeah, no, the game wasn't close. The next one I did was Billy, and I just used these 2 perks, Pain Resonance and Barbecue and Chili. Played in Haddonfield, and that game was also a wash. I just got a bunch of barbecue procs and Scourge Hook value, and just won the game pretty much immediately. They literally could not do anything. I had so much pressure because I downed a guy, hooked him. The guy came to save, healed. I downed it. I had another guy on the ground, hooked him, went to go chase the other guy, found the guy that was on the hook in a corner, downed him, chased the other guy, downed him, and then found the last survivor and downed him. That was the game. It was literally like it felt like a 3-minute game. And then after that, we played Leatherface, or the Cannibal. There he is. Okay. This is the build I used. I got a lot of value out of everything but Territory Imperative. Trail of Torment was sick this game. Oh my god, I was so happy I ran this perk on Leatherface. I got so much value out of it. They had no idea I had this perk. This perk, oh god. I can't even explain how nice Trail of Torment was this game. I kicked a gen, and I Insidious camped behind a hook, and then the survivors came close to the generator, and I was able to get right up behind them without them hearing a single thing, and I downed them, and I won the game off it. It was so nice. I got a lot of value out of Trail. It was a pretty close game though. Probably the next closest game, but I got a lot of value out of Trail of Torment and Bamboozle. A little bit of value out of Insidious. Insidious camped a hook essentially, or one out at some point, I think. And after that was Hag. Originally my build was going to be Surveillance here, but I decided against it because there was a flashlight in the lobby, and you know I don't want my traps getting owned. So this is probably the strongest build. I had 3 really good perks, and then just like a nice utility one. And I got a lot of Franklin's value, a lot of Save the Best for Last value. Honestly, just all my perks did really good this match, and they pretty much like lost the game almost immediately. I got a down hook, got a hit, and then the guy that got unhooked just triggered a trap, downed him, brought him to basement, he DC'd, and then found the guy that was injured originally, hooked him, and then just camped him, and they lost. They couldn't get the gens done because it was pretty early into the game when that happened. So yeah, that game was definitely a bust. And then after that, I used Demo. Surprisingly, got a lot of value out of Furtive Chase. Got a lot of value out of Spirit Fury and Enduring. Less so Enduring. I didn't really get stunned too much. They all just pre-dropped. A little bit of value out of Surveillance. I actually got some really nice Surveillance out of it. Surveillance value. Couple times where I kicked a gen and just I saw it light up and I found a survivor right there, and yeah, just an all-around solid build. This game was like frustrating because everyone just had like the most annoying perks ever, like Soul Guard, and oh god, it was just like annoying. The survivors I was playing against, there was like one good one. The rest of them, one of them was like super noob, and the other 2 were like kind of meh. They weren't like terrible, but they were pretty meh. But yeah, nothing too much in this game. It wasn't too eventful. What else? Who else? Right up next with Wraith. This game, oh my god, dude. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I was against, like, babies, man. Like, I was against babies who had meta perks. They had sprint burst, decisive strike, borrowed time, unbreakable, all this, but they were like noobs, like literal noobs. Like, I was so confused. Like, I had the Steve who looked lost. Like, he didn't know where he was running. He was running to the outside of the map, and he was cleansing a totem when I was on his ass, banging the bell, and he let me grab him, and I was just so lost. And I won the game pretty much off that. Like, I was against two super new players, but they had perks, so I was just so confused on what the hell was going on. It's like they were like fucking tripping on acid while I was fucking like slaughtering them. It was so weird. That game was confusing. But yeah, no, this game was a fucking stomp. I won't lie. This game was definitely a stomp. After that, I played Huntress, and let me tell you, unironically, Deathbound won me the game. Not even joking. Deathbound won me this game, and I'll tell you why. So, this game, I was so confused because I didn't get a single Whisper proc from the start of the match till almost the end. And I did not know where any survivor was. They were hiding and doing gens. And then we were on Azrael's resting place, and I was on Shaq's side. They were on the Azrael's like cut thing, doing gens, and like no one was coming for the save. And I get like this down, I hook him on that side, and then I go to the middle. I'm going from one end of the map to the other, and I don't get a single Whisper proc at all. I did not know where anyone was, and like I injured a survivor that was on the hook, and I got healed, and then ran to the other side of the map. And then I didn't get a single Whispers proc from going from one side of the map to the other. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then a survivor, I sat in the middle. I was like, I'm not moving until a survivor comes to me. Like, I don't know where the fuck they are, and I need something. And as a survivor popped into my view, Deathbound procced, and I knew where every survivor was. There was a survivor in front of me and two survivors just behind her out of my terror radius, and they all died right then and there. They did not save, they did not loop, they literally just ran at me and died. I don't know what the fuck I was against. That match was so confusing, and Deathbound won that game because I knew it gave me the info at such a precise time that I was able to win off it. And then after that, I played Artist with Gearhead and Deadman Switch. Deadman Switch is easily like her best perk, and it's not even close. Gearhead was just there, I guess. I got one proc out of Gearhead, and that was it for the rest of the game. This perk is shit. Don't use it. Even after its rework, it's terrible. Deadman Switch, though, was sick. Obviously a super sick perk on Artist. This game, though, was a bit of a mess. I got it down, and then like I Deadman switched like 2 or 3 gens at one point. And then they all just came to the hook, and I just camped, and I camped and got a couple downs, and was able to tunnel someone and won the game off it. I thought I was gonna lose so hard on it because I started off so bad, I felt. But then like they started swarming the hook, and I was like, oh, okay, I can definitely win this like pretty easy. They're making really bad mistakes here, and they did, and I won. And then after that match, I played Oni, and I'm not even joking to you guys. I'm pretty sure Oni is the best Floods of Rage user in the entire game, and it's not even close. I don't think any killer is as good with Floods of Rage as Oni is. My god, this is my favorite perk to run on Oni. I'm not even kidding. I was gonna run Infectious Fright eventually paired with Monitoring Abuse, but I was like, I really don't like Floods of Rage on a lot of killers. maybe Plague would have been sick on, but I love it on Oni. Being able to know where survivors are if they're in close proximity to you, and just being able to like just adjust yourself and put yourself in a position to where you can down them and they don't expect it is so nice. Monitoring abuse helped me get 2 early hits. I didn't get any play with the food value, and then I got a little bit of Floods of Rage value. I got a whole bunch of really dirty flicks this game, I won't lie. And yeah, I was able to snowball the game pretty fast. Got down pretty early, and then got my Blood Fury. Got it down. Saw another guy, flicked him, got it down, and then yeah, it was just kind of game from there. After that, I played Spirit, and this game was also a bit of a wash. I did get Devour Hope value, and I did get Retribution value, and Predator value. Haunted Grounds didn't go off once. The first survivor I grabbed killed herself, and then from there it was pretty much GG. There wasn't really too much thinking. I played a little bit nicer, but I ended up just killing everyone. A little slower, I guess. Not too much to this game. My strategy was to get Devour Hope and then Retribution to show me where everyone was and get a couple Haunted Ground downs and then chain it into Devour Hope, and yeah. And then Predator actually is pretty nice on Spirit. I've found. Yeah. I was originally gonna put Strider, but every time I've used Strider on Spirit, it messes me. It messes with me, man. Like, I know sound distances pretty well, but Strider always messes me up. And then after that, I played Blight. The last 2 killers here. I just trying to tinker Grim Embrace. This game, I thought I was gonna lose really hard. I spawned around Shack, and I sprinted across the map. And once they got to the other side of the map, I got 2 Tinkerer procs around where I spawned. And I was so fucking confused, and I thought I was gonna lose. But thankfully, I got a hook, and everyone was sort of around it. And I just camped to one of the survivors, and then hooked another person. And then the person that got that was on the hook that got camped to stage 2 went for the save, and I just downed her and won the game off that. And yeah, there wasn't too much to that game. I was like super paranoid. But I got a lot of Tinker value. I didn't really get too much Grim Embrace value though. That perk was actually kind of bad there. And then finally I did Nurse. And I did Lethal Pursuer to get early hits and Infectious Fright to snowball. I was gonna save Lightborn for if there was any groups with like a billion flashlights, but there really wasn't, and Nurse was the last killer I had. And so I had to put it on her. And I did play against the flashlight that game, and she was very angry in post-game chat that I was running Lightborn for 1 flashlight. And then I've been playing Shadowborn Nurse for the last 5 years, so it was just kind of normal for me to run Shadowborn. I don't really like Shadowborn as a perk too much. So yeah, those are pretty much all the builds. My strategy with this one was really just to get an early lead and snowball out of control. That's kind of what happened. That's usually what happens with Nurse. But no, it was definitely a tough tough challenge. I'm glad I did it. I'm surprised I did so well, especially since I hadn't really done all too many attempts with it. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I just want to thank Otz for the really cool, or I guess showcasing it. I don't know if it was him specifically. I very vaguely remember him saying it was someone else. I'm sorry, I don't know who eventually made it or thought of it, but Otz was the one that showcased it, and you know, thanks everyone for that. I thank him and everyone that or whoever thought of the idea for this challenge. This is actually a challenge I thought was pretty cool, and I'm glad I did it. If there's any perks I missed, let me know. If I missed any perks, I don't think I did. I used a website that had all the perks on it, so I don't think I missed it, but I missed any. But if I did, let me know. I'll redo the whole damn thing, but probably with the exact same builds. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, thank you Oz for the cool challenge idea, dude. It was fucking fun and stressful. So yeah, I will talk to gamers later.